are Heather and Paul Christie.
And for over 12 years, we've worked with executives and entrepreneurs to accelerate change in every aspect of their business.
Because we are in the fastest paced business environment that anyone has ever seen before.
So join us for the Evolve to Win show. Hi, and welcome to another Evolve to Win show with Heather and Paul.
It's great to have you with us today, and we're talking about your favorite topic today, which is vacation.
Vacation. Actually, one of my favorite movies of all time, too.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Actually, you watched that at our last vacation.
The series.
Yeah. Why do you need a vacation? Well, we all need vacations. It's really, really necessary. And I think these days there are too many people who are skipping their vacations. They're shortening their vacations, or they're not taking them at all because they're so busy at work. And you know what? That's a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah. And I also think that people are not taking vacations because they really don't think they need them, because when you get into momentum at work and you feel like you're being productive and you're rocking and rolling, and you're like, if I take time off now, I just won't be able to keep going at this momentum.
Yeah. So, okay, the fear of loss of momentum. And then there's the other side of that fear, which is we've all been there before. You come back from the vacation and you've got an inbox that is completely unmanageable and you've got all of this work that's piled up. So I've heard from a lot of people that the stress of taking a vacation is not worth it, which we want to reframe your thinking on this. And that's what this episode is all about.
Yeah. You know, I haven't really thought about that. I know what it's like to come back and you have this, this big inbox of things to do, and there's people that, it just
everybody
piles up,
wants
right?
a piece of you.
Exactly.
Right.
And so it's almost like I'm better off not taking a vacation, or maybe just doing a long weekend where I can do a little work while I can check my emails, but definitely not like leaving the country or going on a cruise, even though it's easier more and more now these days to go on extended vacations and still have access to internet, to your phones and things like that. But what's the point, right?
Well, okay. So that we need to talk about that too, because if you're on vacation, how about actually being on vacation? And it goes back to my favorite rule from Keith Cunningham, which is you train what you tolerate. Well, it's you get what you tolerate, but then you train what you tolerate, right? So it's two parts. And if you are someone who goes on vacation but you're still really working, you're working behind the scenes throughout the whole vacation, and your family knows this because you're constantly slipping onto your cell phone to check emails and handle crises and all this other stuff. If you do that, you've trained the people at work that this is what you do and that it's fine to contact you during your vacation. That's a really bad message to send for a lot of reasons. I mean, one of the things that we used to do early on that I loved, we used to take cruises. Now, this is back in the day where it cost a small fortune to try to get online. Now, unfortunately, you can pretty much get online anywhere. But that whole theory...
you can get online, but you definitely couldn't get cell coverage.
No. When you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
So that
was one of the cool things about taking vacations on cruises.
I loved that about cruises, is
and
that
now
we
I
could
see,
be out of pocket.
Because we booked a cruise just recently in September. We're going to Cuba.
Going to Cuba for the first time. Any thoughts on that? Give us your feedback and your experiences.
Yeah, and I saw on Royal Caribbean, where I don't know if they had a Wi-Fi package or like a cell phone package or something like that, where you could get access to throughout the ship. And I think that's
I hope you didn't pick that up, because I don't want it. Okay.
Did not, no.
We do not want it. All right. So there's a few things. First of all, we got to get past the thinking around, the fear of taking a vacation, the fear of what you're going to miss at work and what's going to happen when you get back. Part of it just starts with a commitment that you need to take a vacation, right? And we all need to recharge. We all need to unplug. And quite frankly, there's this thing called law of diminishing returns. When you go too hard for too long, you become kind of useless. So first things first, just getting your mind around, yes, I need a vacation. And so if you're sitting there listening right now or watching this on YouTube or Wooditch Network, I want you to just make that first commitment. I want you to first think about, do you need a vacation? And if the answer is yes, then let's figure out how and what you need to do, okay? If it has been more than 6 months since you've taken time off, I would suggest that you need some time off. You need time to regroup. You need time to recharge. You need time to just let loose and have some fun. Paul and I just got back from Europe. We did a trip to England and to the UK.
For 11, 12 days.
12 days, yeah. For those of you who don't know us well, we took in a foreign exchange student. His name is Youre back in 2013, and he's from Tokyo. And he is studying right now in the UK. So he's in his junior year at university now.
Yeah.
He lived with us back when he was in high school. And so we flew out to the UK for his 21st birthday celebration. So that was kind of what we built the trip around. Now, we take a lot of time off on weekends or do long weekends, and we travel a lot for work. And we always take a day on the front end or back end to just kind of either explore or relax. So we have the false impression that we take a lot of vacations, but the reality is it's almost always tied to work in some way, shape, or form. Would you agree?
Yeah, totally.
And if you're like us and you have that kind of business that where you're traveling a lot, really get clear on whether or not you've taken the kind of time that you need to truly unplug from work, time away from your clients and your business for a little bit of time.
Yeah, best way to tell too is if you're with your clients on vacation, it doesn't really count as a vacation.
Yeah, you're still kind of working no matter how much you love your clients.
Yeah.
So,
I guess you're always somewhat trying to develop business, depending on the type of business that you're in.
Could be.
But,
yeah, you could have a mindset towards business or just keeping up even more of a professional persona and not really being able to just do what you want to do, right? Yeah. So I think part of vacation is just putting yourself in an atmosphere where you get to just be you. You know, one of the things we do in our assessments is we show people the distinction about how you behave when it's just you, the real you, when no one's looking, and how you behave at work. And most oftentimes we'll see a distinction between those two people. I want you to think about that for yourself. Are you different at all at home than you are when you're at work? Some are, some aren't, but most are. So to be able to just be who you are and get into your natural state and just tap into the energy that's really natural for you, I think that in and of itself is a major recharge.
Yeah. So I want to go back to diminishing returns.
Okay.
Because I think that there is a misnomer of people believe that I guess they have a blind spot around that they're actually not as productive as they think they are. So as you continue to go on and you don't take a vacation, you feel like you're working and being very productive, but I would suggest that you are probably not as productive as you could be, especially just because even though you may have the momentum going, there's just only so much that your brain can handle after a certain amount of time. And I'm not talking about like people who don't take a vacation for like 3 months or even 6 months. I mean, people who haven't taken them in years.
Yeah. Or never completed a vacation. I know people whose claim to fame is I've gone on vacations with my family, but I've never actually completed one because I always fly home early because of some sort of crisis.
Right. So so in our vacation, which I didn't feel like it was really great. We had fantastic time. We got to see so many people that we wanted to, but it was a lot of traveling within England and in France. And so a lot of trains, planes, automobiles.
Yeah.
And it was dragging our luggage around. Luckily we were smart enough to bring just carry-on. So we only had those to deal with. But I would say, the biggest takeaway for me coming back was, even though it was really kind of a busy vacation for us, not a lot of time to relax, when I got back here, my head seemed really clear about kind of what the next steps are, more strategic, more vision of what our business looks like. And even though I didn't think about that a lot, I didn't think about it at all during our vacation. But when I got back here, I just felt more calm, more relaxed, easygoing. And
I'm going to take him on vacation more often.
Yeah, and this is how I get more vacations. And also, we stepped back. As soon as we got back, we had to head out to, where did we go?
We went straight to Orlando.
Oh, we went to Orlando
for a speaking engagement. So we get off the flight from Paris on a Sunday night, and on Monday morning, we're in Orlando for a speaking engagement.
Yeah, and I would say that kind of worked out really well. I liked getting back to work immediately. And
got
then
right
we
back
had
in
a
it. We
couple
had
of
to
days.
unpack Sunday night completely and repack for our Monday trip, which was also kind of good because we didn't let those suitcases sit there.
Yeah. And I think most people would say, well, it would just be great to get back and you relax a little bit, maybe come in on a Friday and then you have the weekend to relax. I kind of liked that we hit work, when our feet hit the ground, and it was just, and then when we got back, we kind of relaxed a little bit and took some time off. But, I am a huge proponent of vacations, but who isn't, right?
Well, I don't know. I think that it's gotten a little bit muddled lately. And there's one other thing I want to share, a client story, and we'll call this client Gina. Gina is a professional, and she's one of the partners in a professional firm. And she has been notorious for when she goes on vacation, she's still kind of running the show. She's still handling things. She was still checking email, not just daily, but multiple times per day. She was still being expected to get on conference calls. Now, the expectations for her, though, she was frustrated because they were different for some of her other partners, right? So some of her other partners would go on vacation and they actually wouldn't be accessible and they wouldn't show up on those phone calls. And it took her a little while to understand that she was 100% responsible for how she trained her team to be when she's on vacation. So I worked with her and we restructured the positioning, and this is critical. We restructured her positioning for her last vacation, where in advance she let people know, listen, in the past, I've been accessible on my vacations, and it's not going to happen this time. And here's why: I really need to unplug. And she really used the all-important question that you have to ask for this is, would you please help me to just be on vacation while I'm on vacation? Would you please help me by not reaching out to me? If something's urgent, she gave them a new point of contact. If you have something urgent, rather than call me, I'm going to have you call this person. He's on standby. He's ready for anything that you need help with. So she positioned it the right way. She asked someone for help. Her people around her asked her team for help. And she gave a resource to her team so that if they needed something, they would reach out. And guess what? It worked. So she had the most restful vacation. She said she still went on email 2 times in her 1-week vacation, very intentionally chose the times that she was going to get on, would be outside of office hours. So if there was something that needed to be responded to, they would get it the next morning. And she said it was amazing. And she wasn't that stressed out about it. She thought she was going to be really stressed about not being on email the whole time. But the reason that she didn't feel stressed is because she did the proper positioning up front and she got agreement from her team. So guys, if you know that you're guilty of this and you're not on vacation when you're on vacation, and you got to know how upsetting that is for your spouse, for your family, for your friends, whoever you're out with. So take charge of it. Take responsibility, reframe it, reposition it, ask for help, and give resources so that people don't have to reach out to you. And you're going to enjoy your vacation so much more.
I love it. And so one of the other things too is, what are you watching, listening to, reading while you're on vacation? Some people like to just completely unplug and don't want anything to do with it. Other people look at it as the opportunity to really brush up, to start to read something that inspires them to even do more creative, strategic things at work. I like to read things that are more business related because it just gets my brain going.
And I like to unplug and get into a great fiction book. So you and I are different. At home, I'm all about the business books. On vacation, I'm like, give me some great fiction, page turner where I can't put it down, which of course frustrates you because then I'm always nosing a book, right?
I know.
But think about that in advance, right? Think about what you want to read, watch, or listen to. What is it that helps you do that recharge? Either relax or get inspired. What is it for you?
Yeah. And that's a great point. Just it's all about recharging. So a vacation is, the metaphor of being a cell phone. A cell phone will run out. As a matter of fact, my cell phone just ran out because I left it in the car last night.
Oops.
But it was out by this afternoon. So it only ran for so long. It needed time to rest and to recharge. And so do we as
be
human
like
beings.
your cell phone.
So be like your cell phone.
Unplug to plug in, right?
Unplug, and then you got to plug back in and make sure that you take that time off because it's good for your brain, it's good for your body, it's good for your business. and it's just good for you overall.
And as of this recording, it is Friday, late afternoon. It's almost 5 o'clock, and we are just headed out for a really good game of tennis. So let's wrap it up and
we're gonna go boating tomorrow. We got a
little
relaxation time we're gonna have. So we're gonna do that. But I hope you enjoyed this Evolve to Win show with Heather and Paul. And you can catch us on our YouTube channel, Facebook Lives on Mondays at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern.
11 a.m. Eastern. And you can also see us on Spreaker and Apple iTunes.
Yeah, connect with us on social media if you haven't done so yet. And we would love to hear about your very, very favorite vacation spots. This is always something that we're interested in learning about. Where do we need to go next? So have a great day.
Bye now.